I feel like everyone has something that they've believed for the majority of their life, and it's not until one world altering moment that they realize it was all fake or a lie. I think Santa Claus is the best example. Everyone grows up believing in Santa Claus, eventually they learn he's not real. Or if you want to go a bit more specific, chocolate milk coming from brown cows. Kids get told that as a myth, and then eventually they grow up and realize that makes no sense, that also is just a lie. I recently had one of these moments where something that I believed for the entire 29 years I've existed in this corporeal dimension came crumbling down after a single chat message during stream brought me the truth on a silver platter, and I wasn't ready to eat it. So I looked into it, and it turns out something that I thought was true for so long is not. And I think a lot of you are going to have a very similar experience when I go over it. It has to do with how to handle a jellyfish sting. Immediately, I think a lot of you just had that light bulb go off in your head like, oh, jellyfish sting. Obviously, if you're in an emergency situation, you get stung by a jellyfish, pee on it. You've seen it in movies, TV shows, and pretty much everyone I've ever met in real life has echoed that same thing whenever a jellyfish sting gets brought up. They'll just wiggle their finger. Did you know that if you get stung by a jellyfish, peeing on it actually helps? It may sound yucky, but trust me, you can't fault the science. This is some fucking bulletproof stuff. And I always I believed it. And even some of the reasoning sounded, understandable. If I remember correctly, there was even a Bear Grylls moment where he gets stung by a jellyfish and gets peed on. So he was also someone that had a lot of authority back in the day to speak on some shit like that. So I always trusted that that was a real thing. Turns out, bunch of baloney. You don't want to pee on a jellyfish sting. And in fact, when you really stop to think about it, why the fuck would piss ever be helpful when it comes to getting stung by a jellyfish? When I really try and get into the nitty gritty, I feel like such a fool for ever having fallen for this. It almost sounds like a joke, like the classic, oh, my shoulder hurts, do you have any remedies for shoulder pain? Yeah, it's called sucking my dick. It's like, that's exactly what happened with this jellyfish thing. Like, oh, you got stung by a jellyfish? What if I pissed on your foot? That ought to fix it. And then somehow it caught on. I tried to trace the genesis of this myth, and it seems like it's only speculation because of pee having ammonia in it and all that. I'm just going to go ahead and play the stream clips now. And I also touched on all of the wacky advice for how to handle a dog attack, like break up a dog attack. I feel like that's also something that kind of falls in line here because everyone gets fed different kinds of information on how to stop a dog attack, and none of it is really grounded in any real sense. So here's a couple of things that might change your fundamental understanding of the world around you with being lied to for so long. Dude, you have to check out an article about how to beat a pit bull. The shit was telling us to choke it. The advice for what to do during not only a pit bull, I guess, but any kind of dog skirmish varies from person to person. I remember I read something about the way you break up a dog attack, like if a dog is clamped down on another one, is you put your finger up its butt. Actual Naruto 10,000 years of pain shit. And I just don't know enough about dog temperament and how to break them up to question it. So I don't know if it'll work, but it changes from everything. Another one is the wheelbarrow technique, where you pick up its back legs and apparently it makes them drop whatever they're holding in their mouth, which I don't think is the case. And then another one was basically a cross body block, where you pick up its back legs and then turn it over and fall on it or something. I don't remember exactly what the process was for that, but it's always different advice that I feel like I don't know enough, but I just don't think it would work. Even putting your fingers in its ass, why would that make it release? It's not like a lever. Just from pure shock. I don't think it would be pure shock to a dog, though. They sniff each other's asses. That'd probably they wouldn't even register that, I doubt. You need a water bucket to break it up. I got trained to do it. So what, you just throw water on the dogs? Why would that stop it? Again, I have no fucking idea. But I feel like none of the advice I've read on how to stop a dog fight will ever actually work. I'll just be that weirdo that starts fucking fingering some dog's butt trying to save the day, and it doesn't do anything. Now I got dog shit on my fingers and everyone's looking at me like some kind of weirdo. I love how there's still people that unironically believe pissing on a jellyfish sting will cure it. Well, it's not that they think that it'll cure it, it's that it's supposed to help with the pain, right? Is that not real? Does that not work? Here's some new data. Should you pee on a jellyfish sting? Your pee is not magic medicine. Remember that if you're at the beach and someone comes ashore with a jellyfish sting. Despite what you may have heard, it's a myth that peeing on a jellyfish sting does anything to ease the pain. Not only are there no studies to support this idea, but urine may actually worsen the sting too. How the fuck did this start then? Was this a joke? Is this 4chan? Because I believed this my whole goddamn life. Didn't Bear Grylls himself also say that in between drinking his piss? He's like, you could also use this for jellyfish sting. I thought for sure this was real. Let's take a closer look at the myth. There was even a plot twist on an episode of Friends. As you know, jellyfish swim around. I know about jellyfish. Those fucking goofballs. They're so stupid. It's embarrassing. Alright, somewhere along the way, a theory grew that peeing on a sting could neutralize the venom and make the intense pain go away. The logic is based upon ammonia and other compounds found in urine. The truth, though, peeing on a jellyfish sting can actually cause stinging cells to release even more venom. That has to do with urine being mostly water, an issue we'll cover in a moment. Jellyfish stings are painful enough without amplifying the symptoms, says Dr. Waters. You might mean well by peeing on a sting, but putting the wrong substance on it can really make things worse. Plus, let's be realistic. Nobody wants to be peed on. How naive, Dr. Waters. We're not here to kink shame, we're here for the science. So, what should you do to treat a jellyfish sting? First, keep your pants on, literally and figuratively, and then follow the suggestions. Remove the jellyfish tentacles. Well, I feel like you do that even if pissing on it, right? You definitely want to remove it. So use seawater to wash off the tentacles, but avoid any vigorous rubbing. The reason? Rubbing can cause the jellyfish nematocytes to fire, which means the barbed part of the tentacles would release more toxin. One important note though, use only seawater on the affected area when removing the barbs. Do not use fresh water such as bottled water or from a faucet. If you do, that can cause the nematocytes to activate and worsen the sting. So look for the barbs. If you see any barbs under your skin, use tweezers to pluck them out. If you don't have tweezers, you can gently scrape the area with a credit card. Well, that's pretty smart. Pain treatment. Apple vinegar or rubbing alcohol. Oh, that's boring. Nothing wacky. While peeing may not ease the pain, pooping does wonders. This is just standard. Immersing the affected area of your body in hot water is another option, but only after the barbs have been removed. Place the sting in a hot bath or under a hot shower for 20 minutes. Lame. So just treat it like any other wound. Bear Grylls had Mel B from the Spice Girls piss on him after he got stung by a jellyfish. Did he popularize it then? So where did this start then? Now I'm really curious. Let's see. It seems like it really blew up in that episode of Fringe when Monica gets stung by a jellyfish and Joey informs the group that urinating on the sting will help relieve the pain. That's the first known, major credit. And then other than that, it's speculation saying the myth likely started because urine contains ammonia and urea, giving it a slightly basic pH. I saw Martha Stewart doing Skechers ads. Have they approached you yet? They actually, we talked to them 4 years ago, and they shot me down in the biggest way possible. It was actually kind of like, those situations where a girl talks to you because she likes your friends? They had gotten in contact with me because they wanted to ask if any of my friends wanted to do a deal with Skechers, but not me. And I was like, brother, none of my friends wear Skechers. No one in this age group wears Skechers. It's just me. What's wrong with me? Am I not good enough? You're the only adult in the world who wears Skechers. Not true. I'm the only adult under the age of 60. And they said that too. What's crazy is they're super, I don't even know if I'm sure I can talk about it. It's not like NDA. They're super self-aware. When they were talking to me, they're like, yeah, we really don't do well in the late teen and early adult market. We're really just kind of like the old man shoe or the young child shoe, and we really want to be in the in-between area. And I'm like, banger. You're self-aware? Great. Let's do something. They're like, no, not with you. No shot. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever, I guess. I'll go fuck myself.